What's up, gamers? It's your host, Cobra, and today I've got a special presentation on 3 play-to-earn games that you can start this month for free or very cheap. So if you've been following this channel for a while, then you know there have been a handful of projects that we have jumped into and not done super well with. If you've been investing in play-to-earn games yourself, you've likely experienced this once or twice yourself. The reason for that is because to date, none of the play-and-earn games that have launched have been able to successfully grow and sustain that growth. Axie Infinity came very close. They had a cycle of about 6 months or so where things were going very, very well. And that is primarily because the demand was keeping up with the prices and the growth of the game. However, that eventually peaked, and today Axie is not the most lucrative game. However, we're going to talk about Axie a bunch more today because it's going to potentially change very soon. The other challenge is that if you are purchasing on secondary, you are often paying for the future value and utility of that asset. And that calculation relies entirely on the fact that the game will be successful. And if that doesn't turn out to be the case, you're going to way overpay for your NFT, which makes it very difficult to turn a profit. Before we jump into the games themselves, do me a quick favor and double check that you've hit that subscribe and like button for us. It really goes a long way. So today we are going to take a look at 3 different play-to-earn games that you can jump into this month and start earning for very little or $0 up front. Those games are Crypto Raiders, Axie Infinity, and Riot Racers. Plus, stick around until the end because I have another project that is still very early that's going to fit into this category as well. First up today is Crypto Raiders, and full disclosure, Crypto Raiders is the only game we're going to talk about today with an upfront cost to get in. However, it is still very inexpensive because purchasing a single Crypto Raider will start at 0.03 ETH, and that is incredibly cheap considering the amount of value that this project has already pumped out to its holders. It's been around for several months, and it's been operational for several months as well. When it first started, they airdropped Raider tokens to its initial holders. We missed out on that phase, unfortunately, but people made a lot of money when that day came. Then they turned on recruiting, which is essentially breeding, except the difference is in Crypto Raiders, you only need 1 to recruit another Raider, and those events tended to be very lucrative for holders as well, at least up until recently. Now, though, however, they have hit a point where they have struggled to continue to grow, and that is because they haven't yet turned on play to earn. In fact, the play-to-earn mechanics are set to be turned on as early as this week. We don't have a specific date, and because of that, I'm expecting it's probably more likely next week, but for sure, inside of April, they're going to turn on the play-to-earn mechanics. That means that when you send your Raider into a dungeon or on a quest, the items that you are earning will be tradable in the marketplace. That means you can sell it for crypto and straight out earn cash, or more than likely you're going to want to sell it for a rum, which is the in-game token, and then you're going to probably want to spend that to improve your Raider and increase their earning potential. Getting started in Crypto Raiders is simple. 1 Raider is all that you need, and as we mentioned before, 0.03 ETH to purchase that first one if you purchase off of the floor. Now, there are more rare versions that have a better chance to recruit a rare version in the future. Those might be interesting to you, but if you're looking to get your foot in the door, any floor Raider is going to do the job and can be built and customized based on your play style. The thesis here is very simple. Crypto Raiders is a well-established project with smart devs and a history of delivering value to their holders. The prices are as low as they have ever been today, and a major catalyst is set to be launched in the very near future. There are no guarantees in this space, and this is not financial advice, but if the game starts to gain some traction again, which I think is certainly possible this month, then anybody who took this advice before Play to Earn launched is going to be in good position to make some serious gains. Game number 2 on our list is both very familiar and at the same time totally new. It's Axie Infinity Origins. Now, if you haven't been paying attention to Axie Infinity recently, and I don't blame you, then it may come as news to you that tomorrow on April 7th, they are launching a new version of the game called Origins. This will utilize the same Axies that we had in the previous game. However, things have been changed up quite a bit. The biggest change is that the game is now free to play. That's right. When you create an account and get started up, you're going to get 3 free starter Axies to get you going, which is an incredible way to onboard additional new users and introduce new people to the game itself. It's also a really user-friendly way to try the game out, because when we started Axie Infinity the first time last summer, it cost me about an ETH to purchase a single team. Now, granted, I could have spent a little bit less had I not been attempting to do some breeding at the same time. However, that's a huge entry point, and at that moment, I had only been able to play the game by borrowing a few of my friends' Axies, and I was lucky to have that opportunity. Now everybody can try and start earning right away. Now, if you want to have real earnings, you are going to need NFT Axies. However, the good news here is that Axie has sunk very, very low, and the floor for NFT Axies that will earn more in the game is under 0.01 ETH. So you don't have to start for free if you've got a small budget. You can start out with a few Axies that will be ready to play with the game launch, and hopefully making you lots of money. The thesis here is also pretty simple. Axie Infinity is still the biggest P2E project out there, and it has hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions, literally waiting for this update, praying that it will work out nicely. Because of that, I think it is very unlikely to completely fall on its face. Now, to be determined if they have actually created something that is long-term and sustainable. However, I think it's quite likely that we at least see a small boom with this major update, because the players are already there. They are ready to go, and many of them already have Axies that they are dying to start using again. It also inspires some confidence that we have seen the price of SLP slowly rising leading up to this launch. The third and final game for our Play to Earn recommendations in April is Riot Racers. And if you've been following this channel, you know I've been talking about Riot Racers a ton. They continue to crank out major update after major update. Last month, they launched Racing School, which is their play-to-earn mechanic, and means that we are now able to earn Riot for free, guaranteed every day, as long as we are entering Racing School races. Yesterday, the founder of the project, Metacon, put out an announcement that included some roadmap details, and it included that the new features we announced last time, those being spawning and rentals, are due to be launched near May 1st. Now, May 1st leaves some wiggle room for it to potentially not be this month, but it is going to be very soon, and based on their history, I believe it'll get delivered towards the very end of this month. But these new features mean that it is a free-to-play game, because you can now rent assets instead of buying them, and you can rent them via a reward split, which means no money down, and you're splitting your earnings with the owner of the asset. Now, No single race is going to make you rich. In fact, a full day of all first places isn't going to make you rich, but you can absolutely earn crypto, which has real value today, without having to put any money into the game at all. Now, I do believe that if you enjoy this, you're going to likely want to save up your Riot and put that towards purchasing your own assets in the future so that you can earn more. But that is a perfectly viable way to grind your way into this game and increase or grow your earnings. And then you can take it a step further. Once you have your own assets, you can start saving up to purchase extra assets to lend out yourself. Now here at the Freeroll, we are going to focus primarily on lending out the majority of our assets. I will reserve a few of my favorites for my own personal fun, but I expect the earning is going to come from scholars that can put in more time than I can today. Last but not least, I teased at the top of the video that I had some alpha about a new project coming down the line that I wanted to share, and that project is called Everseed. Now, we're addressing it in this video because they are going to fit perfectly into this exact space where you can join the game and play for free. In fact, they have called out pretty much since day one that a free-to-play player is going to have access to the full game loop, which is a really healthy and, in my opinion, the correct approach to onboarding lots of new players. This means that it's entirely possible for a free-to-play player to exist without ever putting any money into the game at all and still playing the full game, which is very cool. That is how you get players to graduate from free-to-play to paid-to-play, and will be very important for growing the ecosystem long-term. Now, the art is also very cool. The game itself is being described as a farm-to-tabletop MMO, which is very interesting in its own right. And it promises to be skill-based instead of pay-to-win, which is all the kind of things that you want to hear about a new game. Now, I have included a link to their Discord below, and I highly encourage you to join right away. However, when you do, you're going to notice that verifying your account doesn't unlock chatting within the server. That is because they actually have an application process that you have to go through to unlock chatting. And unlocking chatting is step one towards earning your way onto the allow list or whitelist if you're interested in purchasing any of their Genesis assets. That sale is coming up later in April. It is not required to play the game. However, if you have those NFTs, you are going to be in a greater position to earn when the game does launch, and for that reason I think it's certainly worth it to hop into the Discord, fill out the application, and try to earn those chatting privileges. And that wraps up today's special presentation on cheap or free-to-play play-to-earn games that you can start in the month of April. If you found this video helpful, consider following us on Twitter. That's where I love to engage with fans and other players. I'm happy to answer your questions there as well. And if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button to support the channel.